best-selling New Age novelist on the oldest profession of all. The Brazilian author Paulo Coelho is one of the most successful writers in the world. His previous 8 books have sold over 43 million copies in 56 different languages, with his first novel, The Alchemist, shifting 27 million copies alone and numbering Bill Clinton among its many admirers. His books are simply told fables which invariably wrestle with the quest for personal spiritual enlightenment and have been described both admiringly and disparagingly as New Age self-help manuals. His latest, a novel called 11 Minutes, for reasons which Coelho will shortly explain, and which has already sold nearly 100,000 copies in Brazil, tells the story of a young Brazilian girl who goes off to find a fortune in Geneva and ends up in the oldest profession of them all.
Once upon a time, there was a prostitute called Maria. Wait a minute. Once upon a time is how all the best children's stories begin, and prostitute is a word for adults. How can I start a book with this apparent contradiction? I didn't know how to write about sex. This book has been in my mind for many, many years, and I was thinking about how I should write about the moment that you can reach the sacred, not sacred sex in the sense of religious religion, but when you can really be yourself. I have discovered the reason why a man pays for a woman. He wants to be happy. If I find the formula of my success, I think I'm going to destroy my creative process. This is something that must be very instinctive. If you allow time for taking off clothes, make some funny gesture of affection, having a bit of banal conversation and get dressed again, the amount of time spent actually having sex is about 11 minutes. 11 minutes. The world revolved around something that only took 11 minutes.
John Mullin, how long did this book manage to hold your attention for?
Well, I was fascinated because the thing about Coelho everybody knows is he shifts amazing numbers of books, and the people who talk about the power of his books talk about them as very meaningful, significant, they always say life-affirming experiences. So I did read this thinking, why is this so important to so many people? Why is this authored? Well, I mean, anybody who writes the sentence, with my 5th orgasm I knew God, and does it in earnest, as I think he does, has a certain strength of their convictions, I suppose.
Gets your vote, does he?
Well, he writes these fables, really, and in which everything is significant, everything matters. This one is about the sacredness of sex, and everything that everybody says, every experience they have, nothing circumstantial or incidental. Everything is allegorical, and they're all, his novels are pilgrimage fables, and they take people through life as Bunyan did in Pilgrim's Progress, as if every incident and every statement matters universally.
Yeah, and Bonnie, the pilgrimage for you, how was this book for you?
Well, you know, I agree in that sense, and then you come across, I copied this one line down. She says, what is more important in life, living or pretending to live? It made me stop for about 2 seconds. I thought, good question, but that's also the center of Madame Bovary, that's also the center of Anna Karenina.
So we're getting John Bunyan, we're getting a lot of good references.
Well, exactly, you see, and people are reading this book, it's a beach read. You read along very, very quickly, and then you hit a line like that, and it makes you stop, and it can make you think, this is a deep book. And so I'm not saying he's doing that as a trick, but it can make people feel as if they're reading things profoundly. He asks questions like, are you living your real life, or is that someone else living your life? And people do think like that. I'm not saying this is literature, but that is what people think.
Ian, is it deep for you?
That was a dreadful book. It's the first of his I've read, and it'll be the last, I think. It's written, you're right, this kind of spiritual belief thing, it's written like a series of church sermons. I was feeling a little down, so I went to the fun fair, and I saw the roller coaster, and you know, life's like a roller coaster, and you go, oh, for God's sake. And the diary entries are fake, and the sex is fake.
What about the sex, though? This is the first book he's written about sex.
Please, I kept expecting to turn the page and see a drawing of a bearded guy with glasses, something off with some woman. It was like Alex Comfort had written the sex scenes in this book.
Now, I'm not going to read another one of his books, but I can say this. I can understand why he shifts so many copies. Every line is surprising. Now, you may not like the lines, but you don't expect that to be the next line, so you keep reading. I read it in one zip, and I thought, well, okay, I can understand. Well, yes, some of them are bad. A lot of them are bad, but they're surprising. And you don't expect them to come. And I can understand why people buy these books.
Do you know what? I mean, you're not going to read another one. You'll never, ever read another one. I don't think it matters to him, do you? I think this
I don't think he's going to be hurt. I don't think he's going to be hurt.
Then we must leave it. 11 Minutes by Paulo Coelho is published by HarperCollins.